Well, hello there. Here we are once again, and I take the pleasure of having this opportunity to share with you. And I believe that it's a time that we need to have the word of the Lord to stand upon. And I pray that I share that with you out of the depths of my heart as I've heard it from Him. So we look around today, and I look at society, and I think it's a world gone mad. um, it's pretty crazy and getting crazier out there. And I waited upon the Lord to hear what He would say. And I asked that I might share that, just a few thoughts with you. Now, a wise man once told me that we can never legislate righteousness. In other words, we can never make enough laws or regulations to create righteousness. See, the issue is not in what laws or laws should be or should not be. The real issue is the heart. And the scripture tells us that the heart is deceitful and wicked above all things. And who can know it? The Lord says He tries the hearts. And so David, we find crying out in the Psalms, asking God, please God, create in me a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. See, it's the heart is the issue. We'll never legislate righteousness. It's impossible. But God can change our hearts. And that's what we need to remember is the goal. Men's hearts. The soul. And as society is being manipulated daily, hourly, momently, convinced that they can find what's good and what's bad, and somehow are going to make it all work out. You know, it's that old tree again. Knowledge of good and evil. And it seems like the natural man just can't get enough of it. He seizes upon it and somehow deceives himself to believe we just need to make these things right. Then it'll be okay. We deceive ourselves. Scripture declares that partaking of that tree brings only death. That the answer is to turn to the tree of life, Jesus. That is the only answer. Above Him there is no other. Jesus said it best, that He said, if I be lifted up, I will draw men unto myself. I'm not sure of many of the banners that we're lifting up these days, but I do know that only one really matters. Jesus. I have a question. I've asked the Lord and I'm seeking answers. Where are those who truly, in this day and hour, are waiting upon the Lord and have the word of the Lord in their mouth? That's a powerful question. I'm not talking about teaching this idea or that. Who are those that are really waiting patiently upon the Lord and then have the word of the Lord in their mouth to share? while 2 Corinthians 4:18 tells us, why we look not at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. We cannot be caught up with looking at the seen and somehow believing that we can rectify these situations and cause righteousness come forth and fairness and equality and all the things that go with it, when we never address or see that the question is of the unseen. For the seen is temporary. Temporary. 70 years old now, and I've seen many things, movements and whatever, come and go. It's all temporary. We're here temporarily. While we look not at the things which are seen, but things which are not seen. Where's the men and women that are waiting upon God, looking into the unseen, and have the word of the Lord in their mouth? Let me give you an example of how manipulated things can become. And I think the best example I can give you is Jesus. Now here we have Jesus, a truly just man. If anybody was ever just, it's him, Jesus, a just man. Now, he was falsely accused. And not only was he falsely accused, but then he was beaten and whipped and, in conclusion, murdered. Now, he foretold his disciples about this, that it was happening, and their response was something that we might, if we're honest, relate to. And then Peter said, oh, no, we're not going to let this happen. See, we know what's right and wrong, and this is wrong, so we're not going to let this happen. And Jesus, of course, we know the story, rebuked Peter, said, you don't understand what God is doing. How many things do we look at and go, well, I know what's right, I know what's wrong. How many times do we quickly respond and quickly act in what we think is right? And how many times have we quite probably been wrong from God's perspective? Oh, we need to humble ourselves before the Lord. In Revelation 7 times it said, hear what the Spirit says to the church. Listen to what God is saying. How many people spend real time listening to what the Spirit is saying in this day and hour? And how many times people are caught up with doing all sorts of good works and righteous ideas, and the list goes on, and we're missing the whole point. It's all of our righteousness and all our good work, it's all as filthy rags before God, before whom we stand. Comes to he that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the church. In Revelation 3:18, talking to the Laodicean church age, which is the final church age mentioned there in Revelations. And many would teach and believe that we are living in a Laodicean church age. At the end of that portion of Scripture, it says, God instructs us, buy from him eye salve, that we might anoint our eyes and really see. Really see. The unseen, the eternal, the real. That is real reality. Not what you see on the TV screen or the latest news broadcast. No, the real reality is the unseen. When will we learn that? Well, that's my thought for today. Love you, appreciate you, and appreciate the warm greetings and comments from each and every one, and let me know what you think and how you're doing, because it's for you that I pray and I do these little thoughts. God bless you. Bye-bye.